Michael said Roland Emmerich will be filming the destruction of New York City in the upcoming landslide in La Palma. And what he meant by that was like Kubrick and Disney were involved in the NASA videos. I didn't know Disney was. I thought it was all Stanley Kubrick. Okay. That makes total sense though. Which is basically what the movie The Shining was about his, all work and no play. How he had to keep it from his wife, and maybe a friend got killed, like Scatman Crothers was killed. Somebody did an excellent breakdown. I think it was called Room 237, which is very interesting. The 2 and the 37, right? And that goes back to my numbers with Earl and all that stuff. And we know that, of course, 37 is the 12th prime number. So it all goes back to the church. And that's what I told you Earl's death was, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But, if they do crash that La Palma, let's just say, for instance, what Michael's saying has got to make sense, that it would be filmed and that all of these illuminated when they're underground during World War III. They need something to watch, like all these movies like Top Gun and all this kind of stuff will be out for them to view. But also they'll be able to view the war as it's taking place on the earth and things like La Palma or New York City being underwater. That's what Michael's basically saying. And I couldn't agree more. By the way, if you ever see my channel disappear or I disappear, you don't hear from me anymore on videos, just know they came and got me, straight up. I just get very weird feelings at these times we're in. I kind of feel like they have to come get me and frame me with something before the undoing takes place. Unless just the internet will just be down anyway. But so we'll just leave it at that. I have a lunch tomorrow. I've let a few people know. I wouldn't be surprised if I wasn't set up at that lunch, that the lunch was called for a certain reason. That could just be my paranoia. We will hope that it is. And moving onward. So Michael is saying that about that. So the opening song of the theatrical version, that's right, it's The Killing Moon by Echo and the Bunnyman, released on 1/20/1984. Thank you for that date. January 20th, that portals back to January 1st. Also, exactly 33 years before Trump's inauguration. That's amazing. In the director's cut, the opening song is Never Tear Us Apart. That's right. I forgot about that. Released on 8/8/88. Sorry if you already knew. Never apologize. You're never boring us here. You're never you're doing your best. We're always going to appreciate it. We're going to bounce off of the stuff that you say. And I will, Michael will, Jamie will, somebody will. That's amazing. 8/8/88. Right below his Groundhog Day is January 5th. And he's telling us that Maggie Gyllenhaal, remember I was giving you all these January 5th and all this stuff yesterday, and I forget what all I was giving you. Katy Perry, and I was reading all these different ones, but he was right. I skimmed right past Groundhog Day. Maggie Gyllenhaal, who was in Donnie Darko and The Dark Knight. Not The Dark Knight Rises, but The Dark Knight. But don't forget, she was the central theme. Just like, let's go over this again. There was a central themed person that Bruce Wayne was in love with that was from his past, that was dead. And dead because of his actions. Same in The Dark Knight Rises. Same in No Time to Die. Vesper Lind and Maggie Gyllenhaal. I need to look up Vesper Lind and see if she comes to Groundhog Day in any way, shape, form, or size, right? And so then Bond had a new love interest, and Bruce Wayne had a new love interest, though, in the next movie. And it was, of course, Madeline and, I don't know, Catwoman. So I know it's crazy, isn't it? Both movies parallel like that. And I've never seen anybody mention that before. So sadly, I had to come up with that one on my own, because usually most of my information I get from watching YouTube videos. A lot of what I give y'all is just stuff I learned from other people's YouTube videos. I just remember stuff and I don't forget it like it's like a steel trap. It's locked in there, and then I'm able to regurgitate it later. But that's an original. So let's go ahead and look up Vesper Lind before we get to anything else. Vesper Lind. 1:404, the Book of Revelation verses. 84 is what? That's 7 times 12, which basically the number of cleansing times the church combined. And 140, and 40, of course, just like the 840, all three of these have 40s. And what is the 40s about? That has always meant to me to just be work that had to be done for the church. Jesus prayed for 40 days and 40 nights. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights. The Israelites wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. 40 just seemed to always be that number of work that needed to be done for the church. 40 hours in a work week, work that needed to be done. That's just something that always so neither one of those come to Groundhog Day. Okay, fair enough. Wonder if there's any. When you go back to Maggie Gyllenhaal, is there a match on anything? No. Okay. They were both the same character, female though, weren't they? They really were. So Maggie Gyllenhaal, Wikipedia. She's November 16th, 1977. What did I say? November 16th. And the other girl was July 6th, my birthday, the Vesper Lind character, and she was 1980. They were 963. Their favorite three numbers, or their top number combination in any order, by the way. They love 369, 963, 639, 396. Wow. Okay. That's how many days apart they were. 963. I wonder what that portal's back to. The portal's up to August 30th of 2024. What is the portal back to? May 23rd, 2019. Doesn't ring a bell, does it? It's basically a 3-year span. And if you do anything with 9/11, we're going to have to add these days. May 1st, 2020. Well, it's May Day 2021. Let's do it for 2019. May Day 2022, which is day 121 through the portal. Well, it's 111 days through the portal, remember, and it goes back to the 21st of September, the Earth, Wind, and Fire song. And that's our next progression of 37. You got 37, 37, and 37. Added together is 111. Run 111 through the portal. This year, you do get May 1st, 2022. It's on a Sunday. So it's just very interesting. I mean, that's what we did with Paul Feinbaum. You look at the difference. When there's a connection in peoples, look at the difference in their numbers. Excuse me. Look at the difference in their days apart from birthday to birthday. And then run those numbers against, in this case, I ran it through the portal. What I did with her, the Laura Rutledge, the difference between her and Paul Feinbaum in the backwards direction towards Paul Feinbaum, I ran that same amount of numbers back through the other way, and we ended up on December 10th coming up here, which was pretty freaky because did I say September 10th? December 10th coming up here. And the beauty of that is when you run the 31 back through the portal of January 10th, you land on December 10th, and you run it the other way through the portal, you land on February 10th. So it's December 10th, January 10th, February 10th, related to the 31. And I'm assuming 31 is a prime number. 31 is a prime number. Okay. List of prime numbers.
According to Wikipedia, 2, 3, 5.
It's the 11th prime number. Man, I love that. Why do I love that? Well, because the word Eve is in the spelling of the number 11. You have Eve in that. I think it's a big number for them because it's all about Eve, remember? There's 17 for Q, the number of cleansing, which they have their cleansing. God's got his. They get to do theirs first through World War III, and then through the killing of the sheep. That's to cleanse the sheep, cleanse the earth of the sheep. Well, then Jesus comes earlier, no flesh would be saved, and then he starts doing his cleansing. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. I know, it's crazy. Everything is just crazy. I don't know what to tell you. All right, anyway. Yeah. So that's everything, I do believe. Hang on just a second. We'll finish up with any remaining comments. Well, I'm glad we checked here because AWTR apparently watched our movie, and we love their YouTube channel. So did Carol. Once we realize something is not real, we begin to question if anything is real. Then we find out we live in a fake world. Amen. That's what pulls us out of the world. Mathfly, I was monitoring that scan you just interfaced. You are terminated. Marty says it was needles. It was a sting operation. You're fired. Yeah, Marty McFly. Oh, that's what was said in the movie. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that all goes to the pokey poke, right? Yeah, Christian Schultz, good stuff. So AWTR, I don't have to make anything any bigger. This is, we can see everything he wrote. Regarding 121 or 122. Okay, depending on whether you book in the dates, they are 666 days from 11/17. Wow, are you kidding me right now? Let me see if I'm understanding exactly what he's saying. If we go 121, that goes to November 18th. When I just added 666 days. Right? He might be including the time. Yeah. What if you include both end dates? Okay, you have to include the end date of 121. Okay. Okay. And now I think what he's saying is no matter how you list that date, whether you make it 121 or 122. Oh, depending on whether you book in the dates, there are 666. Yes. Okay. And we just did that. And you have to book in the dates. Yes, you do. That's fascinating. Very fascinating. I'm sorry it took me so long to pick up on what you were saying. Yes. When you include the end date, then you bookended the date, you're counting both days. And it is 600. And that's, see, 11/17 stands for the deadly wound. So when you go to January 21st, that's 11 days through the portal, 11 for the number of Eve. It's all about Eve. You get 121, which is all over the Dark Knight Rises. And it's on a Monday. If you go back 11 days, it lands on December 30th. Okay, very good. Which Deca is 10. October is our current 10. Donnie Darko, October, but could be Deca. You know, it could be December. Remember, that's the day the world will end, on December 30th. Portal that date back through the 21st. That's just another date that we definitely love. You got to love the 121. You just have to love the 121, which is coded all over the movie The Dark Knight Rises, which is about the death and resurrection of Bruce Wayne, the billionaire from Gotham, Donald Trump, the Antichrist. Fascinating. Thank you, AWTR. AWTR stands for At Work for Trey. Absolute. Thank you. I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, you and Michael do tremendous work for us. Thank you. Next up, also, Gyllenhaal was born on 12/19, same date that the Trump Person of the Year cover came out. Same day that the Russian ambassador was capped. Wow. I liked and thumbs up the wrong one. You know I'm going to like them and thumb them up. all the way anyway. That's fascinating. Man. We are in a most perilous time, aren't we? That's why I really feel like they're about to come. Yeah, somebody that was in a weird situation with me, or through that person, I was put in a very weird situation. They want to have lunch with me tomorrow. I can't help. I feel like the sheriff are going to show up and arrest me. Like, yeah, that's like the paranoia that's running. And it'll probably just be this great lunch. And they'll be telling me what went down was horrible. We just want to make sure you're all right. And hope you've landed safely where you're at. And how's everything going at the new job? And I'd just be like, fantastic. But yeah, it was a weird situation, man. And I was backed by everybody in any type of authoritative situation. They're like, we got your back. That was BS. But trust me, I'm a kite dancing in a hurricane in this county where I live. And the fact that I guarantee you the AI, Trump, AI, they know what we do here. That's why I love what y'all do here, because y'all just don't care. And a third comment, full moon, just the name full moon comes to 108 in both forward and backwards English gematria. That's a rare phenomenon. So full moon might be code for 108. That's the address my mom was when she came to Auburndale. 108 Knoxon Street. And that's something. Right in the middle of Auburndale. Right in the middle of Knoxon Street. Right there, man. That's the how. Look at that. There's a picture of it. When my mom moved from Aurora, Illinois to Auburndale, Florida at age 15, she was the youngest of 7. They're all Italians. It's my mom's old house. That's big old Lake Ariana right there, man. Look at that. Look at that. You know, remember where that First Missionary Baptist Church is, where I lived, or when I came home from the hospital. I told you I lived at 404 Lime Street. Where's Lime? There's Lime right there. So if you and you go, let's just go First Missionary Baptist Church, Auburndale, because it's that church parking lot. Now, I just love looking at stuff like that. That's where my house was. That's the church, and the lot was right here. It's now a church parking lot. It was 404. Like we like to say, the address was the same number of the verses in the book of Revelation. 104, but that's a rare phenomenon. So full moon might be code for 108, which is a huge number. I have too many notes to put up here. Well, you know, I want to know about 108 because 8 is my second wife's marriage number. And to win over the 8 or 108 or 1/8, that's just big. Big, 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 big. What are your notes, AWTR? I want to know. I would love to talk to y'all on the phone sometime if you ever want to. I'll give you my email. But it's just fascinating. What else? Anything else? Thank you for that, AWTR. I think that was everything. You can come down here in the comments and check just to make sure. but I've clicked everything off. Here's one. The driver of the red SUV, Daryl Brooks, a rapper, goes by the name Math Boy Fly. Math Boy Fly sounds like a lot from the scene with Needles. And you know what I forgot to tell y'all? We're going to check this out here. This looks interesting. LeBron James fight. Oh, it's on my Facebook. Y'all, dude gets bloodied right eye. Did y'all catch that stuff? His wound shall be upon his right eye. Now, I don't know if I'm assuming that it's real blood. You remember how he used to could do it in wrestling? It looked to me like he might have popped a capsule upside his eye when he put his hand up there, but he might have taken one for the team. It's really hard to say, but there's a right eye wound put on by LeBron James, who of course is number 23. 23 back through the portal, lands on December 18th and Groundhog Day. I know. There's Jake Gyllenhaal, and she's mad. She just did a song about Jake Gyllenhaal, and she has her right eye. Woe to the idle shepherd. Zechariah 11:17. That leaveth the flock. Sword shall be upon his arm and upon his right eye, and his arm shall be clean dried up. And his right eye shall be utterly dark. Look who liked it. Adams Jane. That's Solid Lion. It's the only person that liked it. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. So, yeah. So let's go back to what is being said here. Math Boy Fly sounds a lot like the scene from Needles where Mr. Fujitsu calls Marty in Back to the Future Math Fly. Here is a link to the scene. Oh, yeah. Also, look at the address of Needles, is children's age, wife name.
Feels weird picking it up.
Now, the beauty of this scene is that Marty, and that's what makes the evergreen tree, it's not called leaves, it's called needles that are on the evergreen tree. And of course, Barbra Streisand did the song Evergreen. They love the tree goddess. That's what the tree worship or grove worship is all about, that the evergreen tree is the main representative slogan or logo for the tree goddess or grove worship. It's the evergreen tree. And it all goes back to the Garden of Eden. And his name is Needles, which of course it's what they're doing now, but it's all about the evergreen tree also. We remember when they stopped that evergreen, that big tanker in the the Panama Canal, and then they turned it sideways and it said evergreen on the edge.
Hey, Big M, how's it hanging? What are you afraid of? Oh,
and of course, Trump says, "Oh, is that 88?" Needles Douglas, address 88 Oriole Road. Never noticed that before. Look at the address. Is that what he told us to look for? Was the address? I forget what he told us to look for. Wife's. Come on, man. That's not what I did. And y'all know it.
Hello, in here, please.
It's not what I did. Well, again. Look at the address of Needles. Yes. is children's age, wife name. So he told us, look at the address. That's insane, isn't it? Drink Scotch beer, hobbies, avid basketball fan. So why is that popping up on a computer screen? Name, because people are being trolled. All their information is out there for all to see. 8/6, 1968. Well, there's the 86 for avid basketball. And they run a lot of their Illuminati stuff through basketball. As we just saw, LeBron James address, 88 Oriole Road. That's fascinating. Children, Rob. Jogging, slam ball, tennis, politics, occupation. Oh no. Politics, none.
Nobody.
Occupation, systems operation. And of course his tie is like the sun god or something, or the twin. So you got twin ties on there.
Me.
He's wearing two ties. That's pretty unique. And y'all remember the episode when Doc came on his TV show and he was wearing the sun god tie. A lot of people like to show that video. Hang on, I'll find it for you. Now, Doc, who is in Back to the Future, and of course represents that Doc from Metropolis, the scientist from Metropolis. That's where Doc's hairdo comes from. I mean, the 1927 silent movie was already telling you about the image that speaks and the ghost in the machine. It turned into a human and her name was Maria. I mean, if you haven't watched the silent movie Metropolis, then you have to go back to the very beginning. You just need to start from there and just start over again. I mean, because that's the beginning of everything. It's got an upside down pentagram. You can get that mailed to you at dvd.com, which is of Netflix. Netflix used to mail my DVDs. It changed to dvd.com. I could add streaming and be back on Netflix. But you can get that movie and see the robot enters into the woman and they all worship her. And her name is Maria, of course, like Mary, get it? It's the goddess. Goes right back to goddess worship. 1927 silent movie. So that's Doc. So Christopher Lloyd is in the Addams Family, y'all, Wednesday, which we always have to take a hard look at anything. Yeah, and all things Wednesday, for sure, including this coming Wednesday, which would be the 24th. Oh, I'm looking for that. Hang on, let me look for that TV show. Okay, I believe it was Spin City. Owen Kingston. He was in one episode. Christopher Lloyd, Spin City.
While hospitals have doctors and nurses.
And so it's going to play after the ad. So I'll pause here and get it set up for you. All right.
Girl, the morning her brother gets out of jail. Christmas morning.
He taught me everything I know about politics. How to campaign.
So they're talking about Christmas. Just talked about politics, Trump.
And how to manipulate the press. Gets
Trump.
here. I want you guys to all. Michael Phelps.
So there's Doc. Guess what's on his tie? The sun god. He's got the sun with a face in it on his tie. Can hardly see it, can you? Got it covered up. How slick.
Michael Phelps.
Isn't that something? I've seen the whole clip before, the whole clip, and it's just not there. And there's Trump in Spin City.
Listen, I had kind of a pressing appointment, but I thought you might run into a roadblock, so I asked someone to drop by. 2 books. Mr. Trump here wrote the article. Mr. Trump. Donald. Donald. Mr. Trump bestseller, The Art of the Comeback. 2 books.
Unbelievable. So the sun god on the tie. And then you're telling me Trump's been on Spin City too. You got to be kidding me. There it is. Did y'all see this? Y'all see the sun god on the tie? Christopher Lloyd, Spin City. I mean, sometimes you just got to go to images and see the sun with a face in it. And he told Michael that he was God, just like the, so he's playing Trump. Anytime you have a sun with a face in it or a moon with a face in it, that is the sun god and the moon goddess. Fascinating. Fascinating. It's fascinating. I know. You can't make this stuff up, and it just goes on. That's why my videos go on forever and ever, because it just goes on and on and on. Christian Schultz, 5 dead, 40 injured in Christmas parade. Yahoo News Sports, Gary Bauer and Mike Householder, November 22nd, 2021, 12:45 a.m. Mike Householder comes to Enough is Enough, New York City. Don John Trump, Adolf Hitler, January 1st. We never get tired of January 1st, do we? Never get tired of that one. I heard a guy on the sports TV show the other day come off with the but so when I saw his tie, I thought about the tie, and it looks like a double sun god tie, doesn't it? It looks like sunburst in his tie, very similar to what was worn in the Spin City by Doc. You put them both together, you have the sun. It reminds me of the twin Trumps. And of course, Trump came on the Spin City show. You can't make this stuff up. And do you see how we bounce off of each other with stuff? We just do, we do. That's what we do here. I can't tell you what movie is more compelling to me. The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises or Donnie Darko. All of them just absolutely blow my mind. What should be the thumbnail? I'm thinking that. What do you think? Yeah, I'm thinking that. What do you think? There's 1109 right there. Look at that. Maggie Gyllenhaal. God love her. All right. Love y'all very much. Keep them coming. Your comments drive this channel.